Tonight's story takes us deep into South Carolina's Lowcountry, a place where power and privilege collide in the Murdaugh family legacy. On June 7, 2021, Alex Murdaugh, a prominent attorney from a family that dominated the legal system for generations, made a frantic 911 call at 10:07 p.m. In that call, Alex sounded panicked, claiming he had just returned home to find his wife, Maggie, and their youngest son, Paul, brutally murdered. The scene was nothing short of horrifying. Paul, just 22 years old, had been shot twice with a shotgun, once in the chest and once fatally in the head. His body was found near the family's dog kennels. Maggie, 52 years old, was a short distance away, shot multiple times with a high-powered rifle. Investigators later concluded that the shots came from close range, suggesting this was not a random attack, but something far more personal and deliberate. At first, Alex appeared to be a grieving husband and father. He told investigators he had spent the evening visiting his elderly mother, who suffered from dementia. But cracks in his story started to emerge. Cell phone data placed Alex at the crime scene shortly before the murders, a direct contradiction to his claims. What's more, a Snapchat video recorded by Paul just minutes before the killings caught Alex's voice in the background near the kennels, placing him at the scene. But this was just the beginning. Investigators uncovered a web of lies surrounding Alex's life, financial crimes, allegations of embezzlement, and a history of suspicious deaths connected to the Murdaugh family. Alex was under mounting pressure, both professionally and personally, and his seemingly perfect life was beginning to fall apart. It's in this context that Alex was brought in for interrogation. Investigators had questions about his alibi, the evidence against him, and his growing list of secrets. What followed was the beginning of the unraveling of a once powerful man's story. As the interrogation begins, Alex Murdaugh appears composed. Law enforcement officers start with basic questions to establish the timeline of events, allowing Alex to recount his version of what happened.
What time is this?
It indicates 9:50. The time was incorrect on our recording system, but my notes, my report indicates it was approximately 11:09 a.m.
Thank you.
I know we got a lot to talk about. You got millions of questions. But before we get started with your questions, this has been going on for over 2 months, and we've done a lot of work.
I know you have.
And I've got some more questions that I need to get clarifications on.
Sure.
Okay. So we'll start with that.
Wait a minute.
Yes, sir.
Maybe I'm mistaken.
Alex Murdaugh's close friend Corey Fleming raises a diverting issue in the matter. He straightforward tries to get the interrogator on the knees. It was nice trial, though.
I thought we were coming here so you can update him on what's going on.
And I intend to do that as
Okay,
we
let's
go.
do that first.
Okay.
All right, let's do that first.
The update is I'm doing the investigation, and I have some questions that I would like some answers to. And I mean, certainly if I ask the question, if you don't want to answer it, you don't have to answer it.
No, I'm fine with that.
I mean, it's more clarifications of the 2 interviews you've already given me.
Totally understand.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a friend, but I'm also a lawyer, and I like to know what we do. I like to understand what we're talking about. I need you to answer this question. Are you asking him questions to further your investigation, or are you asking him questions because you think that he's a suspect? I need a straight answer.
I am asking these questions to further my investigation.
Does that mean that you're not asking him these questions as a suspect? Because I'm not comfortable with you asking him questions as a suspect when I came here with the thought that you were going to be telling him where you were in the investigation, what it is you've done, seen, uncovered, whatever. That's why we came here.
Well, let me respond to your question. It may not be a direct answer that you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And I told Alec this when we first met. Any homicide investigation, you start with the closest person and or the person who found the deceased.
Mm-hmm.
Both cases, that's out. Everybody stays in that investigation until we can get them out. And right now, because of the questions that I have that I need explanations for, I cannot get Alec out.
Okay.
So I want to go back to Monday morning, and you went to the office.
Okay.
What time did you go to the office? Who was at your house when you left, and what time did you go to the office?
We have been
Notice how he pauses before answering, as if carefully choosing his words, a behavior that investigators are trained to watch for.
to a ball game that weekend. I don't remember exactly what time. It would have been somewhere between 8:30 and 9:30, probably 10 o'clock maybe at the latest, something like that.
And when I ask about time, I'm not saying it was 5:11 or something like that. I just
Totally
I
understand.
mean ballpark,
That's
as close as you can get to it.
And if you need to know exactly when, there would be a keypad that will tell when exactly I went in my office
Okay.
that I can get for you.
Okay.
So
So you have a key fob to get in your office?
a card.
A card.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Gotcha.
But, a little bit. It was probably a little bit on the later side of that. I guess I know Maggie got up early to get out of there because she had an appointment in Charleston. Just don't remember if I left right after she did or I fiddled around.
Okay. And I already know that Paul stayed at John Marvin's that night, so it was just you and Maggie at the house.
That's correct.
And I know when you were at the office, you were working on motions, and some of those motions you dealt with were for Paul's the boat accident or the boat case.
I'm not really doing the legal work.
I understand, but
So-
you're Paul's dad, you're a lawyer, you're definitely going to know what's going on.
Yeah.
So what were those motions? Did it deal with Parker's, or was it the actual boat accident, or?
It was the civil case.
Okay. What time did you leave and get home?
Earlier than normal. I'd say 5:30,
When you left the office?
sir.
Okay. What time did Paul get home that night?
Me and Paul got there about the same time.
Okay.
Maybe he was a little bit later than me, or maybe a little bit earlier than me, but it was close to the same time.
Okay. And y'all rode around the farm. I believe you said 2 different trucks or 2 different vehicles.
Yes, sir.
What were those 2 different vehicles?
We rode in the white pickup truck, and we rode in the black pickup truck.
And either one of those, did you see any long guns? Take your time.
It's okay.
Did you see any rifles or shotguns?
I don't remember seeing any that day. No, we did have pistols.
Yeah, because I know you said you went target practicing.
Well, not really target practice,
Okay,
just shoot.
Yeah.
We rode around for a couple hours, just looked at everything, all the stuff Paul did on the farm, and we just spent, time together. I'm sorry.
No, that's all fine.
You can do this? I can do it. We started
Have I been able to answer some of your questions? I know you probably have more, but with my questionings, trying to get some things cleared up, have I given you some answers?
Well, I do know more than I did, for sure. So, yes, some of those questions have certainly, yes, sir, been answered.
What other questions do you have that?
I would like to know exactly what happened.
Me too. The best that I've been able to put together.
Tell me, it looks like. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I believe, for the simple fact of where he was located.
That's what he shot.
Twice.
I thought he shot Maggie first because I could tell he shot her in the back of the head.
What? You said he thought we shot Maggie first, or Maggie was shot first?
He thought, Alex said that he thought Maggie was shot first because she'd been shot in the back of the head.
Go ahead.
We may honestly never know who was first, but I think it was Paul, for the simple fact he wouldn't have, if he saw his mother getting shot, he wouldn't have run to that feed room. Unless that's where one of the guns was. But, you know, we've already established family guns were used. And if they came from Paul's truck was at the house. So where were they?
And how did he get down
And
there?
how did they get down there?
Did you just ask him, we've established family guns were used?
Yes, I did.
Objections overruled. Proceed.
What was his response?
Sorry.
Would nothing be the answer?
Correct.
Go ahead.
I mean, it's normal for y'all to leave your keys in the cars. However, if somebody showed up and did this, you're not going to take Paul's truck back to the house and leave the key in it.
I mean, do you,
And how did they get it down there? You know, we've already established family guns were used. And if they came from Paul's truck was at the house. So where were they?
And how did he get down there?
And how did they get down there? I mean, it's normal for y'all to leave your keys in the cars. However, if somebody showed up and did this, you're not going to take Paul's truck back to the house and leave the key in it.
I mean, do you know that the guns were in the truck? I mean, could they have been somewhere else?
They could have been somewhere else. I mean, he didn't have his normal truck.
And I understand that Nolan Tootin believes he saw the gun 3 weeks beforehand.
Mhm.
And I haven't talked to him, but is he believes it was the one that, not the one that was at the house?
I think it was a Benelli. Was his shotgun that he always kept, that Paul always kept with him.
Oh, primarily, yeah, he kept one of a couple of Benellis.
Yeah, it was a camo Benelli. Is the last one that Nolan saw.
Okay,
And HDD, some type of 7mm rifle.
yes, sir.
Do you have that one at home?
Yes, sir. That's what he saw?
That's what he saw.
'Cause I was told by somebody that Nolan saw a 300.
He told me he had not seen a 300 since March after turkey season.
Okay, well, then somebody.
Well, those were the go-to guns, and those are the last ones that he saw.
The
He said he had,
HDD and the,
and Benelli. He had not seen the 300 since March during turkey season.
and he definitely saw it during turkey season?
Yes, sir.
Because there was some point, you know, back when it was missing at Christmas time.
The third one's missing at Christmas time?
Yes, sir. So, anyway, if he saw it in March.
Did y'all get any kind of forensic of anything that y'all found? Just the rain and the,
I mean, we got plenty of DNA from the scene, but
yeah.
it's Nolan's, it's Rogan's, it's Alex, it's Paul's, it's Maggie's, it's Buster's.
Everybody's,
Yeah.
David, can you tell me for sure? Did either one of them live after they were shot the first time?
Not long.
Is that
The shooting happened very quickly. Very quickly.
Is this one person, two persons, three persons?
Shotgun. Is that the first time he's ever asked you that?
Yes, sir.
Ever?
That I recall, yes.
In the whole investigation at this point?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
I got 2 guns. I got 2 different types of ammunition. It's hard to say. It is hard to say.
Not in either one of them suffered very long.
A matter of seconds, if that.
Thank you.
Have y'all been able to get anything in Boston that might be to anybody but beef? Let me ask you this question. Comes from Randy. I like I didn't talk to you about this, but
It's okay.
you know, they got a lot of friends in the community. You know, from the upper echelon to the lowest socioeconomic level. They think that they can ask people to keep ears out, you know, loose lips, talking, that kind of stuff, but they don't want to reach out to anybody. Not purpose, unless y'all think it's okay. I'm not talking about paying people to do stuff,
Yeah.
investigators.
Well, I've talked to Randy about this as well. He posed that question to me.
Right.
I'm not going to ask anybody in the law firm or anybody in the family, hey, go out and see what you can find and report back to me.
Sure.
Because then it can be construed as they're working as an agent of the state.
Sure.
And
I understand that completely. You don't even have to
yeah,
explain that.
yeah.
I understand it.
So, I mean, I told Randy, I said, I certainly can't stop you from going out. But I wouldn't ask them what they know and then report back to me. Tell them to call me. Tell them to call the tip line we have still set up. Or if you hear somebody talking about it, encourage them to call. Or give me the name and I'll go call.
Okay. I hear what you're saying.
So David, we don't have any, I mean, not anything substantive that really makes you think, hey, this is a good.
We, you know, like I said, the only DNA we have are family and close friends. We don't have any fingerprints. We don't have, unfortunately, we don't have any shoe wear or tire wear impressions because it rained that night. The only thing that we can go off of are the cell tower dumps, or you know, the FBI was out and they were out on your property on Friday riding around trying to get some stuff on tap. Unfortunately, all of that takes time.
And y'all had to send because this vehicle's new, you had to send that off.
Yes, sir.
So it's not like when we hire experts and they come in and just download it.
It's 2021 and they don't have the systems for it yet.
Gotcha.
But they're creating a system, from what I understand.
Okay. Now, I don't know exactly how the OnStar thing works. I know how the control module works, but this is something different, right? Or is it all contained in the same thing?
There are 2 different systems that we took out.
Yeah.
One is OnStar and the other one is the telemetry system or infotainment center.
Yeah.
And the FBI says there is information there.
Yeah.
They just have to be able to extract it and put it in a report.
Sure.
So
you're just waiting for
yes,
that?
I'm waiting on the search warrant from OnStar
Okay.
to see what kind of information they can give me.
Good.
There's,
You need us signing something expedites that. I told you we'll
yeah,
get,
I
I don't own the car, but whoever we need to will sign whatever authorization you need.
So you had said that, or maybe Jim told me or something about y'all were able to get in Paul's phone just with a search warrant.
We have a what they call a partial download.
Yeah.
Because we don't have the passcode.
Sure.
We can't do a full extraction.
Do you think, so, you know, my thought was that I don't know who's required to authorize Apple to open it. I know there was that big thing where they weren't going to do it,
Yes.
or whatever case. But I thought that if we, I think Maggie owned the phone. I think it was in her name. The account was in her name.
Well, you have to have your own separate iCloud account for each phone. And we've done that for Maggie's, Paul's,
Okay.
and Alex.
Okay.
iCloud accounts.
Yeah.
To see if there's anything in there.
Yeah.
There's nothing in Paul's. I'm still waiting on Maggie's.
Maggie did back hers up and stuff. I know that.
Does that mean Paul didn't back his up?
Probably.
But what my thought was, and I don't know if this is even possible, but if we get the estate, and we get the personal representative, who's now the authorized person, to authorize it to be opened. I mean, surrounded by 100 lawyers, we can get a probate done like that, and I can have the powers of appointment done in 2 days, and we can authorize whatever it is you need to open.
And that might be beneficial.
So
I think Randy and I, or somebody and I talked about that
Yeah.
before.
yeah, well, and I said I'd do it any of us.
Yeah.
Um,
Who would be the representative? Just somebody at a law firm?
probably one of your brothers, I would think.
For Maggie and Paul's sake,
Yeah.
probably me, or
Mhm.
I mean,
one
I'll
of my
do
brothers,
it.
but whoever it is, it doesn't matter. Whoever it
Yeah.
is will do whatever
Yeah.
y'all need to do to, no, it won't be anybody that'll be uncooperative.
Okay. Well, I mean, if y'all would go ahead and start working on that,
Right.
then we'll reach out to Apple and figure out how we get that accomplished.
Right, because gotta be something there.
Mhm.
Gotta be something there. I can't think of anything else. I mean, have y'all had to track down all the wackos on the internet? Or just only the ones that you think seem a little more, not the opportunity and the inclination, you know?
There's been a few that I'm looking at.
Yeah.
But some of the information is just so far-fetched. I talked with one guy, he called in and says, well, I knew that Maggie's son bought a house right around the corner. I'm like, okay, well, no, they didn't.
Yeah.
That Maggie had left her husband some time ago and was going to move to Florida to be closer to her father because the mother was dead. And I'm like, okay, thank you, God.
So it's a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, people that want to get involved.
Yeah.
People that think they have some information. Especially the matter of death. They're all over the place.
Well, I mean, y'all been taking a licking in the press about not disclosing stuff, but Jesus Christ, man.
I don't have anything to disclose.
Well, and why are you gonna tell the bad guy what you got?
Thank you.
I mean, I just don't understand it. I mean, look.
Nobody wants to know more than this man right here and this man right here.
I know.
Everybody
I
else,
believe that.
Everybody else.
David, how far apart in time were the shots? Either one of them know the other one was dead or been shot?
I think it's impossible to answer that question. I think it is impossible.
But you certain Paul was shot first?
I believe he was. I'm not certain. I believe he was.
Maggie would have known that, then, wouldn't she? You don't know how soon afterwards she was shot?
And it all depends on how many shooters were there. I mean, if we're looking at two shooters, it could have happened at the same time. If we're looking at one shooter, it would have happened. And I know you can't help but think about it, but don't beat yourself up over getting an answer. It's not going to do anything to you.
When I asked you, now that you've talked to me, are you willing to, if some of my family, Maggie's mom and dad or sister, are you willing to talk to them?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I'll meet them where they want to.
It would
I
be
mean,
easy
I
if you
know-
could meet them
And
closer to them.
I mean, I live in Charleston, so it's
Yeah.
nothing for me to shoot up to Somerville and meet with the grandsters.
Thank you. I know y'all are doing everything you can. And I don't take any personal offense at asking me these questions. I know you gotta do what you gotta do.
Well, I mean, and I hate to give any credence to the media, but with the media keep throwing you in there, then
You gotta ask the questions.
if I can get every bit of evidence possible that's going to exonerate.
When you get my car stuff, that'll help.
Al, you said earlier Maggie didn't like staying out there by herself.
Yes, sir.
Was there any kind of, I know we asked you once before in one of the earlier interviews about cameras, and have y'all talked about doing any kind of camera system out there, stuff getting missing? Maggie talked about stuff getting missing. We're hearing that type of stuff, so.
We never really had problems with stuff missing, but we still talked about getting, cameras and, doing all of that, but we just hadn't done it. We talked about it for a while.
But not really any conversation about stuff up and walking away or getting missing between you and Maggie?
Any conversations between me and Maggie about stuff?
You and Maggie, or you and Paul, either one about stuff that had been missing, or had somebody came up and taken from the barn or from the house or anything like that?
Only thing that I can remember being discussed missing was some drills and some Milwaukee tools.
How long ago was that?
Couple of it was since CB got hired, I'm pretty sure. Because that was one of the things Paul, when he was looking for him, was going to ask CB. And I'd had a boy working out there for just a short period named Matt Luce. Is that the first time you've heard his name?
The last name, yeah, I've heard the name Matt.
Matt Luce. I think it's spelled Luce.
And he basically did what CB does now?
No,
Or something?
he came in and was, just trying to, because I didn't have anybody working out there, just to kind of keep things from getting totally out of control. And he came in and, he does that for another friend, works with another friend, and he's just kind of coming in to help me, probably, I believe he probably would have been there in the late fall, probably, I'm guessing.
Is he from Hampton or Walboro?
He's from Beaufort, I believe, originally, but he lives up in, he lives between Beaufort and, I'm trying to think of the name of the plantation that my friend Barrett Bowler has. That's who he works for.
Barrett Bowler?
Yeah, Junior.
Yeah, so.
It's Bowler is how it looks.
B-O-U-L-W-R-E.
Ken to Tom Bowler, Warren?
Yeah, Tom Bowler. Yes, sir. He was like one of my granddaddy's contemporaries. And now there's a Tom Bowler that's kind of just retired. And they are, I think that's, they're kin, but not super close.
How old is Matt? Ish.
I'd say he's 30. Like that. Maybe.
Do you still have his number?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have his number on my phone.
Yeah.
That I can give him.
Where'd you go?
I had to step out and use the restroom.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
You gotta send it to me, we'll have it. Can you think of anything else you want to ask questions about? All right. Off the top of my head.
The pair of guns that you bought for the Christmas presents, they were matching set, right, other than color. All right about that?
Yes, sir. They were exactly the same.
With thermal night vision and stuff like that. The one that you purchased to replace the lost one, did it have any kind of optics on it? Night vision scope, anything like that?
It doesn't have a night vision scope. You know, and I don't know if Paul has put something on it. He would move scopes around from gun to gun to gun, but I'm not. Oh.
Then we're going to break for lunch. Turn at 2:20. You may proceed. Yes, sir.
Specific scope on it.
I don't know if you had, or we asked, when was the last time that gun had been seen? Do you know of?
I know that we looked for it around the Christmas holidays. Or we went to get it around the Christmas holidays. I asked about it around the Christmas holidays.
Of 20? This past Christmas
Yes, sir.
holidays? Okay. And that was the replacement, what I guess we call it.
That's correct.
Okay.
Still trying to figure this out. I cannot exclude the boat incident and those involved. I know that y'all are currently going through the civil portion. How far had that progressed? I mean, were y'all in the talks? Was it breaking down?
Can I say something real quick? I know nothing about the any of that stuff, and he's represented by lawyers in that case.
Mhm.
I don't think I personally believe he shouldn't be talking about that unless the lawyers he's represented by participate. I don't think it's. I mean, I'm sure that they're happy to do that, but I don't think that that a person should be talking about a pending action like that without their lawyers knowing about it and what. Because I know nothing about it. I'm completely separated from it.
I don't mind. You know, I have insurance companies hire lawyers, and then you know some of my partners are helping with that also. But you know, it's made some progress. It's you know, it's still unresolved, but it's not in its initial stages by any means.
Okay. And what I'm getting at with this, you know, it's in progress. I just want to make sure that it's not make sure. Bad word there. You know, did one party say this and y'all countered or something like that where the other people are pissed off, and now we have somebody out there with more motive because now they're thinking, you know, Paul's going to get away with this. And
I mean, I'm not aware of any of those discussions. The only thing that I am aware of is that I've learned that one of the daddies of one of the kids in the boat wreck went to lengths to, or maybe it was his son, I don't know, but I was told that there are people out there that were being told, you can't be friends with Paul and the Murdaughs and with us. You gotta choose.
And that was a dad going out telling.
I don't know.
Or
I don't,
it was that dad or that kid going out saying this stuff.
I don't know that. I was told by a person who had been told that. It's Nate Tootin is the boy's name. So
Is that,
find out
is
from
that
him.
any kin to Nolan?
It's Nolan's younger brother.
Okay.
It's Nolan's younger brother. So, I'm gonna answer this,
Yes,
y'all.
sir.
My Buster and I have a deal. Buster?
You probably don't get much service in here.
Buster? Buster?
You go outside, hit that green button on the right.
Explain my wrong now. Apparently there's a period here where we've agreed we'll fast forward, which will pick back up when he comes back in. And the defense has agreed with that, it's my understanding.
If you don't have any more questions,
This is the Snapchat video that I'm talking about from Paul's home. Okay. So that is gonna bring us back here.
okay, I tell you what. Yeah, we were laughing about that because he's laughing because I've gone to great lengths to try to, that tree got knocked over, and I've gone to great lengths to try to get it to, you know, be upright.
Okay.
And,
Was that night? Because the friends that we talked to said it was posted that night.
I'm not sure.
Somebody's phone on?
Sorry?
Somebody's phone on? No, it's somebody's phone. I hear like somebody talking in the background. Okay. Like it was a call that had dropped or something.
I need one. Throw your strap.
Yeah.
You need some?
Okay. Anybody from the boat or their family that you've heard or know of any issues with them recently or prior to this incident?
Like any confrontations?
Or them saying anything in the community about the lawsuit or the pending charges, anything that would kind of lead me?
I mean, David, I told you about the, you know, the, Kenya tree horn. A month or so, maybe 6 weeks before this happened, called me, you know, just all out of sorts, you know, and told me, I told you about that,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yeah, we've been a few areas.
So, I mean, she said she'd heard it from 2 different places that family from the boat wreck was, you know, it just, you know, it was over the top that I really didn't, you know, pay it a bunch of attention. You know, and I asked her about it. She said she didn't know who the people were, but she said that it was with a friend. It was at a friend's party. She knew who the friend was and would take y'all to the friend. So, you know, has she talked to you about that?
She's given us very little.
Do you feel like she's being evasive? Because let me tell you what I've tried not to do. I know y'all have to look at me. I've tried to have as little discussions with the people that y'all are interviewing, you know, with all this talk about how I fixed this and fixed that with the boat wreck, which is totally untrue. You know, I've tried to not have a lot of conversation with people that, you know, I know y'all need to talk to.
Well, the problem that I encounter, and I think everybody in law enforcement encounters in any investigation, people on the street talk, and they run their mouth, and they'll talk to friends, and they'll talk to families, and they'll talk to victims. But when the police show up, they keep their mouth shut.
So she's not talking to you.
She has given us some information.
Okay.
some information.
So is there a problem with me going to her and, you know,
I'm not gonna answer that.
so you're not telling me not to do it?
I'm not gonna answer that.
Okay.
Either way.
I'll get somebody to talk to her. All right? To try to get her to cooperate with you.
Turn. Allergies. Excuse me. All right, do you have any more questions that I might be able to answer? And if you can't think of any now, reach out, call me.
I will know. I mean, you've answered a lot of things I had questions about, and I appreciate it.
And I'll call the Bransteaders and see if they want to meet. Maybe get Marion up there at the same time so I can just meet with them all together. Does Marion, I know they live on Guatemala, does Marion work?
No, she doesn't work. And they're, you know, they're kind of between Guatemala and, I mean, they're residents of the state of Florida, but
Okay.
they're here as much as but they're in Greenville a lot right now.
Yeah, because of
The
grandbaby.
baby, that's right.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. I just, a few more questions.
Okay?
Did you kill Maggie?
No. Did I kill my wife?
Yes, sir.
No, David.
Do you know who did?
No, I do not know who did.
Did you kill Paul?
No, I did not kill Paul.
Do you know who did?
No, sir, I do not know who did. Do you think I killed Maggie?
I have to go where the evidence and the facts
I
take me.
understand that. And you think I killed Paul?
I have to go where the evidence and the facts take me, and I don't have anything that points to anybody else at this time.
So does that mean that I am a suspect?
You were still in, like I told Corey earlier, you were still in this. With everything that we've talked about, with the family guns, the ammunition, nobody else's DNA. I have to put my beliefs aside and go with the facts.
Talking with Mr. Griffin, there's one sentence after that before we redacted. We both agreed that I could leave and ask you, after that last question, do you say, well, I understand, I mean, and shaking his head?
Yes.